Shalom, people. This is Brother Lyles coming at you with another video. And I want to thank all of my new subscribers and all my old subscribers for tuning in today. As you come in, I'm going to ask you to give this video a thumbs up. I'm going to ask you to leave a comment, and I'm going to ask you to please subscribe. I want to thank all of those that viewed my video on Burkina Faso and Ibrahim Traoré. I want to thank you for helping it get over 1,000 views. That's my first video that I ever got over 1,000 views. So I thank you for that. And I thank you for the comments that were left on the video. Most of them were, pretty decent. Although I would have to say it was one video, comment on the video that I did not reply back to the person because I want to just be careful. What I say. I would say again, we're not gonna be in agreement with everything. So I mean, yeah, I kind of just left the comment as it was. Now I would say that it was some other videos that I had uploaded, from me and my wife and son visit to the International African American Museum in Charleston. It was two racists that left comments on one of my videos dealing with me saying reparations. And I basically deleted them. I didn't report them. I probably will next time, but I did delete both of them because I'm not going to sit and debate with a person that's coming in with those kinds of thoughts and views. Now, in that case, I'm not, if you come out with something that's totally off the wall comment, I'm not going to debate you. I'm not going to reply back to you. I might report you. I might just delete you. So I just do have to put that out. They say a lot of times, and it can be true. When you get a certain age, you just don't have the energy to do that kind of stuff no more. People gonna believe what they gonna believe. You kind of gotta let it, let it ride. How they, you give your view and you kind of move on to the next rodeo. But I want to talk today about very, very briefly. We want to just talk about MLK Jr. Day. My thoughts on it is a lot of times people key in on the "I have a dream" speech that he made without going back to the fact that he did state that the dream had become a nightmare. Because I can remember when I was in the Christian church, that's one of the things you used to have at all the black churches and some white churches too, is the MLK prayer breakfast where people would come up, or children would come up and they would read the "I have a dream" speech that he did when he went to the Lincoln Memorial. I want to say that understand that he did want to have peace between the two main races in this country, which is black and white people, Hebrew and non-Hebrew, you want to use that term. But if you look at his concentration in the latter part of his life, right before he was assassinated, his thing was the economic uplifting of his people. So I myself believe that MLK Jr. Day for us as black people, as Hebrew people, or any other black nation that commemorates or remembers his day, should be on economic liberation of our people, wherever they may be at, whatever country they be at. That we should concentrate on that. We should key in on that, because economics do bring freedom. Think about it. In the book of Genesis, and I was talking to friend of mine the other day. We was talking about Genesis, and we was talking coming from Genesis 1. Let's see, was it Genesis 1? No, it was Genesis 2. It was Genesis 2 and 10 and 11. He said, and a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and since it parted and became into four heads. And the name of the first is Pison, that is it, which encompassed the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. Verse 12, and the gold of that land is good, and there is beryllium and an onyx stone. Here you see Yah laying out an economic blueprint for all those that will come later in his creation. Now, this first week of creation, talking about, hey, I created these four rivers. And at the head of one, Havilah, the whole land of Havilah, he said, there is gold. And the gold in that land is good. Good for what? To look at? No, good to mine and to use in commerce. So if in the first week of Yah's creation, he's talking about precious metals and all these things like that, what is he trying to say? He probably, well, no, he didn't probably. He knew when he created mankind what was going to be our fate. He obviously didn't want it to happen, but because of his foreknowledge and that he gave us free will, he knew that was going to happen. So now he's laying out the plan for, hey, as Moses, because we know Moses wrote, Genesis, we know he wrote, he said, throw that in there, Moses, about Havilah being a land where you can find gold, good gold, and the onyx stone, which is, what more can I say? When he keyed in on that beryllium and onyx, I'll leave that one alone. But that as we look at this MLK thing, that's not say, well, this is blasphemous to talk about money on MLK Day, when that is the thing that got him assassinated. What was he doing at the time that he got killed in Memphis? He was helping the sanitation workers in Memphis negotiate for what? Higher wages. And when he was coming to do the next march on Washington, what did he say? He said, when we do our next march in Washington as black people, he was keying in on black people. He said, we coming for our check because we understand that the others have got a 200-year head start on us. As for the economics and voting is not going to get us there. The dream is not going to get us there of being, all of us getting along. If you have an economic advantage over me, you're not going to try to help me get on the economically on the same level or above you. No, you're not. You're going to give lip service. So King understood that. What was he doing when he was talking about the Vietnam War? Because he knew when the war started that the quote unquote war on poverty funds were going to be diverted. So, and also going against the Vietnamese who was fighting against the French for their freedom, which is what got started because the corrupt South Vietnamese politicians and army were screaming and begging, you ally America, you got to help us against the North Vietnamese. When Ho Chi Minh in the 1950s had asked the United States, let us be a protectorate of America. But they said, no, we got to stick with the French. And they said, that's not a good idea because we're going to beat the Frenches behind. And when they did, we came behind. We talked about this before. We talked about how they telecast it. They let people know they was putting things out to let people know, hey, Vietnam is the next war that we was going to go in. They already knew that. King spoke against that because he understood, and he even used some of the same terms that Eisenhower. He said this is the same thing that Eisenhower was talking about, beware of the military industrial complex, what it is trying to do. And that was one of the reasons why they assassinated him. So I say on this MLK Day, we should concentrate on economic things. What kind of bank account you got? Do you have insurance policies? What kind of stocks and different things will you? What kind of properties and all these things? Let's get this stuff right. This is what needs to be done instead of us. You can do both if you want to, but I believe the concentration needs to be on our economic freedom because it is on the downturn. It is on the downturn for us as black people because look where all of the concentration of a lot of our monies are in entertainment, and also they are in the a lot of our people are in the service industry, which we know there are a lot of immigrants that are coming in and being able to work those jobs. Any of you that go to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, you can see that. Who is the most people that you see in those hotels when you go down there? I'm not talking against them because they're using their head. You see Jamaicans. We talk to them all the time when we go down. I mean, my family go down there and they say, "Oh yeah, we here on a 3-month visa." Because it might be an off season where we're at. Some of them might be Jamaica, some of them other Caribbean nations, and it's because they know the business from running it down there, and they say they'll come up here and make a whole lot more money and send it back home. They have a 3-month visa and then they gone. They out of there. So we see a lot of that stuff is going away for us. So if we don't wake up, we don't get with the bandwagon and understand what King was trying to say. He was trying to say we need to get the economics in the black community. It need to get back because he understood the black Wall Streets that we had been destroyed, all of that stuff, and we already seen with the Supreme Court cases and all these things that reparations. I do believe that they should pay them to us, but I mean, looking at it realistically as a black man, as a Hebrew man, it's my belief that the only way that the Caucasian people would never agree to that. They would never agree to that. It's going to take Yeshua himself coming back, destroying the armies of this world for us to get those reparations per se, which is actually being with him ruling from the nation of Yasharal over the whole world. That's going to be our reparations, as the Bible said, from beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, so my suppliants bring me an offering. That some of that is going to be for the offering for his people, because he is of the tribe of Yehuda, which is one of the main ones that was taken into the transatlantic slave trade. They're going to be bringing those offerings. And the Bible said those that don't come up to Passover, those that don't come up to pay respect to Yeshua, to show reverence and worship to him in the city of Jerusalem, and to those that are his people, the Bible said he's going to withhold rain for those nations. So that's telling me that tangibly, yeah, the reparation come, but I don't know if it's going to happen in this life. But that does not mean that there are other ways that y'all can't bless us, because the Bible says it's him that gives us the power to create wealth. And so, like I said, on this MLK Jr. Day, that is my message to you as a black man or black woman or black child that's watching this video. That's concentrate on our economic freedom from this one household at a time, one person at a time, that we try to do that. There's people out here now that they feel that, the DEI has been cut off, the affirmative action was cut off during Biden's presidency. The DEI too was, all of it was cut off. That these are opportunities that there's a vacuum there that have skills that can help people get in, right? I have some things that I plan on doing, and I don't want to talk about them right now until it's a significant event that's getting ready to happen in my life. I'll talk about it as soon as it happens, because I don't want to talk before that, and I'll just put it this. I'll just throw it out here like this. Remember what happened to the irritated genie, and I'll just leave it like that. Because once this significant event happens in my life, I will come back out and I will make a video about it, and then I have some thoughts of some things that I want to try to do, because that's pray to the Most High Yah. Yes, terrible things are going to be happening all around us and everything, but life still goes on no matter what. So the Bible says, as these things happen around us, he said, look up and rejoice, your redemption is near when you first believe. So we still got to keep living our life in these places. But just like King understood, and they definitely had it much harder than us back then. And they was King was trying to tell our people, hey, let's strive to get ahead by first coming to try to collect from the federal government what is ours. But also, I believe if he had lived and they wouldn't have assassinated him, I do believe that he probably would have been telling us as a people, we need to come back together, and let's create our dream first before we dealing with the dream of anybody else. Because remember, his last sermon was, I've been to the mountaintop and I've looked over and I seen my people, not the other people or the other thing. He said, I seen my people, and I'm here to tell you, you're gonna get to the other land. You are gonna get to the other land. Now we understand about, one day the Most High Yah is definitely gonna, I believe, pull us out of all the places that he scattered and dispersed us. There's no doubt about it. But until then, we have to occupy till we come. And while we're occupying till he come, that's remember the words of Martin Luther King. This time, when I come back to Washington, I'm coming for my check. And also that, again, we know that we are going to make it to the other side. We as a people. How many of us make it to the other side? I don't know, because where y'all always operate, he always operate with a remnant. We understand that everyone is not going to make it. It's just, even in your own individual families, the prayer is for everybody. But we got to be honest with ourselves. We got to, submit it to the Most High Yah and believe on him. But I would say that King's last few years was for us the blueprint and the thing, not just waiting for a check from Washington per se, but creating our own. Like I said, I do believe that that's what he would have said. I don't think he would have just put it all in the hands of the federal government, because I think he could see when the Vietnam War came that it was going to be a diversion of a lot of those funds for the war effort. and even the funds that we were given, the stipulations that they were putting on us getting those funds from the quote unquote war on poverty was going to damage us as a people, damage our family structure. Without the proper family structure, you can pour all the money that you want to in a situation. It's not going to work. And that's what we find ourselves into. So let's go back to the drawing board on this MLK Day thing. And that's, yeah, you can put in the I have a dream, but also that's remember when I come to Washington, I'm coming for my check, and that we must strive to become economic independent as much as we can through the power of Yah, who gives us the power to create wealth for ourselves and for our families and future, because we don't know how much time we have left before Yeshua comes back and before he pulls us out of the lands of our captivity. So with that, I'm going to ask you to give this video a thumbs up. I'm going to ask you to leave a comment, and I'm going to ask you to subscribe. Be blessed.